Same story, different day. The Rangers, used to the long ball to help propel them to the win column, continues to be the theme of the 2017 season. And the first two games against the Braves, 5 home runs, 2 victories. They'll be swinging for the fences again tonight in search of a series sweep.
This is Rangers baseball presented by AT&T, and for the second time today, we come to you live from Atlanta, Georgia at SunTrust Park, where the Rangers go for a series sweep and a doubleheader sweep this evening, and trying to get to 3 games over 500 for just the 3rd time this year. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again tonight. I'm Dave Raymond, just happy to be sitting next to CJ Nitkowski, and we're ready for the final game of this series. One thing is for certain here in Atlanta: the Rangers like hitting here.
Yeah, they certainly do, and really the entire season when it comes to interleague play. But specifically, so far in this series, the Rangers have been slugging once again. Look at the damage that they have done so far through their 2 games. That is 10 runs per game, 5 home runs. 21 total have scored that so far in this series. But the Rangers have really done this all year, but beating up the National League pitching and doing it away from Globe Life Park when they don't have the DH.
Oh, they've won 6 of their last 8 games overall. A chance today, as I say, to sweep this series. That offense might continue to roll again because Julio Teheran's had trouble with the home run ball.
He's had a very difficult time keeping the ball in the ballpark. It's been a pretty inconsistent season for him. He has been throwing the ball better a little bit lately, but you see that number, and I think for these Rangers hitters, they get pretty excited about the possibilities of what could happen in this final game of the series. Of course, now on the other side, it'll be the lefty going for the Rangers in Cole Hamels, and he has loved pitching against the Braves over the course of his career, 16-9 in the 25 decisions that he has had. Very good ERA, the most wins of any opponent, and really more specific, look how good he has been in his last 6 starts. So this seems, at least on paper, like a really good matchup on both sides of the ball for the Rangers.
All right, well, one other thing that has worked really well for the Rangers lately has been the middle of the infield. Elvis Andrus and Rougned Odor, maybe as potent a combination in the game. Emily has them in the spotlight when we return.
For SunTrust Park here in Atlanta as we get set to close out a 3-game series and a day-night doubleheader here in Atlanta. The Rangers going for the sweep over the Braves. And in the first 2 games of this series, a couple of guys up the middle have been very big for this team, especially at the plate. You look at the play of Elvis Andrus hitting 19 yesterday. Then Rougned Odor with number 28 yesterday. Today, of course, Elvis Andrus gets his 20th home run of the season, joining that 20 home run, 20 steals club. The shortstop, when you look at those two up the middle this season, a combined 48 home runs, 144 RBIs. That's the most among second base shortstop combinations in all of Major League Baseball. The Shiner light blonde spotlight shines bright on Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus tonight, guys.
Yes, it does. And the Rangers very happy about that as well. As we take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Texas Rangers, now 2 games over 500 at 70 and 68. DeShields once again up at the top spot. Andrus, Mazara, Gomez, and then Joey Gallo slides into the 5-hole at first base. Odor, Robinson, Chirinos back in the lineup after taking the first game off. Drew Robinson and Cole Hamels.
And let's take a look at the forward pitch arsenal for the opposing pitcher, Julio Teheran. It is a lot of fastballs. Pretty good when it sits at 92 miles an hour, although 19 home runs off the fastball this year. Slider, curveball, and changeup as well for Teheran. The slider is pretty good pitch, 241 batting average against for him, but we'll talk a lot about the home runs and the issues that happened here this season for Julio Teheran.
Well, it has been a big story, certainly for him, as we are now underway in game 2 of our doubleheader. Teheran puts that one in there to DeShields to even the count at a 1-1. 68 degrees at start time.
2 degrees warmer from
I told you it was going to heat up.
How about that?
Bender, and that one in there for a strike. DeShields in a hole 1 and 2.
And the curveball is, as we just showed you guys, one of the least used pitches. The changeup and the curveball both under 10% for Julio Teheran.
2-2 the count to DeShields. Delino had a base hit and a walk in the opening game of our doubleheader. He has now hit in 7 straight games and has reached safely in 19 consecutive games. So he has really been hot up at the top of the order. Stays alive at 2-2. The other thing about DeShields, Rangers are now 46 and 34. 12 games over 500 when he is in the lineup. Gets this one up in the air down that right field line. Playable for Freeman, backpedaling into foul territory. 1 away. Time to take a look at our TXU Energy Power player to watch. Elvis Andrus now with 50 multi-hit games this year. That's 3rd most in the American League.
Well, this guy's been really unbelievable, and to think that he is ranking up there when you talk about multi-hit games, how there is so much great offense in the game right now. Elvis Andrus is right up there with some of the best. The power has been fun to watch this year, but he's really been doing it all. 38 doubles.
This one lined up the middle. There's a base hit for Andrus. And his tear continues.
Well, Elvis Andrus doesn't wait around at all with Teheran. Gets a fastball. I got to tell you, watching the first game, if I'm Julio Teheran, I'm not throwing a fastball up there, up and away, and balls in the middle. I mean, you think about hits by direction for Elvis Andrus today. That is at least 4 that have been hit to the middle of the field, and yet he still keeps getting fastballs away from these Braves pitchers.
He'll take them. He'll take them right back up the middle.
No doubt. And one of those went for a home run. I mean, it's not like he's just, and a double. It's not like he's just slapping the ball up the middle for these small base hits. He is squaring the baseball up very well in the middle of the field.
So now Nomar Mazara, man on, 1 out. Mazara at 256 now for the year. 17 homers, the 88 RBIs. A really good all-round season for Nomar. Mazara at one point got into the on-deck circle in the opening game as if he were going to pinch hit, but got the first game of our doubleheader off. Teheran keeping an eye on Elvis Andrus over at first base. Elvis with 23 stolen bases and 31 attempts. 1 on Nomar.
Here's the changeup from Julio Teheran. That pitch has been an issue for him. Hasn't been a home run problem. Only 3 home runs allowed on the changeup. But opposing hitters, when they put that ball in play, are hitting .346 on the Teheran changeup.
Mazara swings and hammers that one, but foul. And way out of play. Nomar had a real good game here Monday night. Went 2 for 5 with a home run. Generally speaking, the average has fallen lately. There's 13 hits in the last 15 games, but overall gets on base fairly consistently and certainly drives him in at team high 88 RBIs. Andrews running, and he will get second base without a throw. His 24th stolen base of the year.
It really is incredible to watch Elvis in all facets of his game. Now we got a break where that ball was down and not caught cleanly on the exchange, at least by Suzuki, so he didn't even have a chance to throw Elvis Andrews out. Here's an at bat for Nomar Mazara with a runner in scoring position. This year for him, 31% of his at bats there has been a runner in scoring position. That is 5th best in baseball. I say 5th best as if he had any control over it. 5th most would be probably the better phrase to use, but he has had some really great opportunities with runners in scoring position, has Nomar Mazara.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a good sign, good indicator of what's been going on with this ball club. But the other side of that, the other piece of good news there is how he has taken advantage of those chances.
He has .297 batting average for Nomar Mazara with runners in scoring position.
Well, check this out. You talk about young players in the game, how exciting they are, the Bryce Harpers, the Cody Bellinger, etc. Well, Mazara with 88 RBIs, most in that group.
That is an encouraging sign. We talk about this a lot because, you know, RBIs is, yes, a team-dependent stat, but you still got to come through in those spots. You still have to do something to make it happen. And for Nomar Mazara, 31% of his at-bats, there's been a runner in scoring position. He's hitting .297 during that time, and you look at all these great young players in the league, and he's done an excellent job of driving those guys in.
Up into the bat, foul, stays 3-2.
I think that, you know, is what matters. The runners in scoring position, batting average, it's a nice number. It's good to know. It definitely has some value. You gotta start looking at, though, how many opportunities a guy has and what the quality of the bats are in those situations, because nobody out, Nomar Mazara hits a ground ball to the right side here. I know there's one out now, but if there wasn't, it's not a hit, but it's still a quality at bat with a runner in scoring position.
And there's ball 4. So Mazara takes the walk. Rangers have 2 base runners on in the first.
Let's take a quick look at the defense here for the Atlanta Braves tonight. Matt Kemp back out in left, and Ciarte Marquez, the same outfield that we saw in Game 1. Camargo will be playing third, Swanson and Albies up the middle, Freddie Freeman back at first, but Kurt Suzuki, who did not play in the first game, is behind the plate here with Julio Teheran.
Right, now Carlos Gomez. Gomez with 3 hits in this series. He was 0 for 4, but did have a sacrifice fly in Game 1 of our doubleheader. Good spot for him. And hits this one out towards center field, and Ciarte coming on, and he'll get there. 2 away. Here comes Joey Gallo.
Some gaudy numbers there for Joey Gallo. 37 home runs, 72 RBIs. Back at third base now, just like he was in the beginning of the season with Adrian Beltre out with that hamstring injury.
Yeah, except for today. For this, the one break he's going to get tonight will be over at first base with Drew Robinson in there.
That's right, Drew Robinson.
Generally speaking, though, yeah, we're going to see him pretty much every day at third.
It was interesting because we saw the other day where they wanted to give him a break. They want Robinson in there. We'll see what happens the rest of this month with the righty Tehran. But then we saw Will Middlebrooks get a start where he went to first and Joey stayed at third. So he continues to do that back and forth thing that he has done. Not easy. He's already having a big season, first full season for him, wire to wire. And he's doing it in multiple positions.
I think that's a good point. One that you kind of lose sight of is that he has played all over the field. He has put up some of the best power numbers in the American League this year. And this is just his first real full season, first season where he's had that steady playing time on a daily basis. He comes to the yard, knows he's going to be playing.
But not only does he not know what position, but also where in the lineup. Right? I mean, that's just the way it goes here with the Texas Rangers. There's a lot of changes. Joey Gallo originally in the lineup in the 4-hole last night. That game got rained out. He'd only started the game hitting fourth once this year. Then they changed it up today. They dropped him a spot. But that's the other part. Like you said, you know his name's going to be in there. But he's probably with his finger like, look, oh, okay, it's sixth and I'm playing, okay, left today. He's handled it very well.
Swings and misses at strike three. The inning is over. And the Rangers leave a pair. So nothing doing in the top of the first. And the Braves just now coming to bat. This evening here in Atlanta. Let's take a look at the Braves starting lineup. 60 wins, 77 losses. Ender Inciarte leading it off. See Freddie Freeman last 4 games. He's swinging a hot bat for these Atlanta Braves, batting third. Suzuki does the catching today in the 6th spot. Swanson, Johan Camargo at third base. He's the switch hitter. And then Julio Tehran does pitch and bat ninth. So Hamill's out there ready to go. And fires in a strike. Inciarte had another good game in the opener. 3 for 5. Drove in a couple. Continues what has been a terrific season for him. 1-1 count.
Cole's done an excellent job against left-handed hitters this year. 176 batting average against, just 1 home run allowed. There are 3 natural lefties in the line. A couple switch hitters that'll be batting right-handed tonight, but Inciarte one of 3 lefties. Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, the other 2 in this lineup tonight.
Hamill was looking for a bit of a bounce-back performance tonight. This one shot into left field, a base hit for Inciarte.
take a look at the forward pitch arsenal here for Cole Hamels and what he has used, how he has used it this year. 50% of the time, it's been a fastball and kind of split in the middle between the 4 and the 2-seam fastball. Of course, that changeup so good over his career is talking about that a little bit. The cutter and the curveball as well for Cole Hamels this season.
Arte aboard, 20 steals this year, but might find it a little tougher with a left-hander looking at him. And Albies with a bouncer right back to the mound. The throw to second, bobbled, and ultimately recovered by Andrews. Looked like Hamels might have started that just a smidge too soon.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, this ball bounced right in his glove perfectly, and you see Rougned Odor, the way he's shaking his head makes me think that maybe they decided that Elvis Andrus was going to cover here. But what happened is everybody starts moving because the ball was hit up the middle, and so Rougned Odor is coming over. Now, it's a good recovery to make sure they get at least the out at second base, but you're just trying to read the language and the conversation there a little bit between Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus, and you saw, watch it right here, see him coming across. Kind of wonder whether or not Elvis might have been the designated guy. Depends. You always decide ahead of time. Whenever there's a guy, a runner at first base, pitcher always steps off, looks out at the middle infielders, who's covering on a double play, and they communicate that, and then they know. Now a ball like that that's hit up the middle, both middle infielders are already going up the middle, and so it's possible. I'm not saying it's true, but it's possible maybe that Odor started to cover just because he was there. Whatever the conversation was, because whatever Elvis was saying, Ruger was like, yeah, you're right, you're right. Like you see him shaking his head like, yes, yes. So that might have been the case there. Who knows? But at least they got the one out. Most importantly, at least get one in that situation.
1-1 pitch. And Freeman takes ball 2. It looked to me like, I mean, I get it from Ruby's standpoint.
Yeah.
Because Hamels, it got to him quickly, cleanly, turned around, and made that throw quickly.
Yeah.
And I think they did the right thing, right? You throw it to the bag, somebody will be there. But I think Rookie racing over there was like, I don't know if Elvis is going to get there.
Could have been that, sure. Absolutely possible. The
Smacked
other part
down
of
the
that is Albies can run.
Right.
You know, so you don't have a lot of time. So sometimes you'll shuffle a little bit extra. Cole really didn't do that, understandably so. This guy's getting out of the box. There's one shuffle, and that's fine. And the throw was good. But you see, it was almost like Odor, again, if that was the case, if Elvis was covering there, Odor kind of reached for the ball because he was unsure, maybe if, like you said, that Elvis was going to get there in time.
Full count now to the dangerous Freddie Freeman. Saw how he's been swinging the bat lately. Freeman was 2 for 3. Scored a couple of runs in the opening game. One of those 2 hits at double. Hits this one high in the air out to center field. Gomez ranging to his right.
Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Chicken Express. We just saw Carlos Gomez right there in center field. Well, on either side of him will be Delano DeShields and Nomar Mazara tonight. Drew Robinson getting that start at third base. That means Joey Gallo is over at first. The good up the middle here for the Rangers. All those double plays turn between Elvis Andrus and Rougned Odor, and Robinson Chirinos back behind the plate after he had game 1 off. Many Rangers enjoying a career year. Robinson has been getting it done offensively and behind the plate. He's done a nice job with his pitching staff.
Throw over to first. Ooh, always just back in there. Close play. Albies having a conversation with first base umpire Jerry Meals. I think campaigning for maybe a balk. Definitely a little tricked. Ground ball wide of the bag at third.
By the way, so did you put that down for Albies as a 1-4-6?
1-4-6.
So technically, does Odor get an assist for that?
He sure does. Yeah.
Not a bad way
Well
to compile
played,
some
right?
assists. Yeah, I mean, why not?
Got to get involved defensively. It is one of those oddities of baseball scoring, I guess. Touch it. You're into play. One and one to Kemp. Kemp had a home run in our afternoon contest, 1 for 4. It was a 2-run shot in the first inning. Kemp, this is just his 15th game since coming back off the disabled list, and it is now 2 and 1. Hamels making his 19th start of the season. I mentioned looking for a bit of a comeback effort. His last 2 starts, not as good as he had been prior. His last 2 starts, he'd given up 10 runs in 9 1/3 innings. Prior to that, he was on a good little run. 5 solid outings. We've noted various junctures this season, when he's on, forget about it. 2-2. That is outside. It's full count. He's going, and there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Kemp strikes out, and that ends the bottom of the first. So the Braves get a base hit, can do nothing with it. We go to the second inning. We go to the second inning. Time now for our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. That's kind of cool. Since 2016, Cole Hamels, 273 strikeouts, most among active Rangers pitchers. Julio Teheran, 296 strikeouts. That's most among Braves pitchers.
He's been a very good strikeout pitcher. Julio Teheran has been a guy that they like so much. They locked him up to that team-friendly deal, get him under control. Really worked out for them, but it's a big arm, good slider. It's a big part of the strikeouts and how he has gotten them. But they locked him up through 2019 with a 2020 team option. That was a 6-year deal.
Teheran goes right after Odor and puts one on the outside corner for a strike.
He's like 26 years old.
Yeah,
he's been around for a little while, but that's what happens when you're breaking the big leagues. He broke in at 20. Only pitched 5 games that year, pitched a couple of games in his age 21 season back in 2012. But since then, since 2020, he has made 2013, he has made 30 starts per year starting at age 22. He's well on his way to doing that again this year now. This is his 28th start of the night. So I'll give him 5 straight seasons of 30-plus starts.
Two balls and a strike on Odor. Yeah, it is one of those things, though. You know, you get ready for the game, you're putting in your lineups, you're checking up on players, and I saw his age today, and I thought, wow, I didn't realize he was still that young. 3-1, obviously disagrees with that last call. I thought he might have caught a corner. It's 3 balls and a strike, though, to a dangerous Rougned Odor. Odor goes after this one, but lifts it into medium deep left field. I don't know, Kemp might have been in a little trouble with that one the way Inciarte came over. I was like, dude, did you see that?
Well, there's a little bit of panic there, and it almost looked like Inciarte was going to pull the Kelly Leak move there for a second. And watch this as the ball gets in there. Now, it's not completely darker yet. We talk about that sometimes, and I mean, Kemp looked like he had it the whole way. I mean, I didn't actually see anything in the body language that told me otherwise, and Matt Kemp even got a laugh out of it. Inciarte wanted to show off the wheels a little bit.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He had to do some running in that first game today, too. A couple of balls hit over his head out there in center field, which is not easy to do because he runs under a lot of them. Chirinos turns away, and it's 2-0.
Mentioned it earlier, the offensive year for Robinson Chirinos, those 16 home runs that he has this year. I mean, it's just been a great year, career year for him. He's done that in 256 plate appearances.
High fly ball out to left field. Kemp does not see this one, and that one lands right on the line. That is going to be extra bases. Chirinos stops at second. I'm not sure if that, I took my eye off the fan there. Did that fan touch it?
I mean, after the fact, the fan may have touched it. The ball was definitely fair when it bounced down. I don't know if it'll be, doesn't look like it'll be ruled a ground rule double. So maybe Matt Kemp wasn't messing around that first time. Or, you know, we're here with, when you get the sky like this time of night, not completely dark. He didn't see it, and by then it was too late. Watch this ball hit just fair. I think it was fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You're not going to review it. Well, let's see what happens here. So there's Matt Kemp. No, he can't see it as we get near dusk right here. Yeah, they caught some chalk now. Did he touch it? Oh, yeah, he definitely.
At that point, it's a double.
The worst part is he didn't get the ball.
Yeah, usually that also results in a removal from those seats.
It's a little guy.
I'm just saying, that's fairly standard procedure.
No harm, no foul. Would have been a double anyway. That hold up in court or no?
No.
That defense, no.
1-0 to Drew Robinson. Backdoor breaking ball. Robinson with 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. That's Chirinos out there at second base. Scoreless game here in the second. Tehran really working the outside with left-handed hitters. He misses again, 2-1.
We'll see if the Rangers can take advantage of that. I guess we'll call it, wasn't lost in the lights. Lost in the dusk sky. Either way, it was a break for them, and runner in scoring position now with 1 out.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, it's not an automatic that anybody gets to that ball, right?
I would expect Matt Kemp to make that catch based on the fact that he threw his arms up. And
sure.
He was still pretty close to it. Like he slowed down, arms were in the air. Let's just say he couldn't see it. If he sees that ball cleanly the whole time, I would suspect that he makes that play. A lot of stuff in his beard. I let it go the first 2 times. I couldn't let it go the 3rd time. That's the downside of the new trend. There's stuff in there, you can't feel it. Or you don't care, one or the other.
Time called. Robinson will reset. Left field has been a bit of an issue in this series for Atlanta. between Matt Adams and Matt Kemp. There's some balls out there that have been a little more adventurous than perhaps necessary. There's strike 3 called on Robinson, 2 away in the second inning.
Well, Julio Teheran has been working the slider to the opposite side, or I should say really on his arm side. We call that the backdoor slider. Starts off the plate, finishes a strike, and you locate it well. It can be a tough pitch to hit. You see it kind of finish on the outer third, but most of the way there, that ball is a ball. So for True Robinson, you're trying to pick up that spin and still judge whether or not that thing will come back and catch some plate. Not an easy thing to do. Then you come back and you do that, or you run it the other way, the two-seam fastball to Cole Hamels. How about the triple in his career against Julio Teheran? He knows he has one.
How about the 400 batting average against him?
He may have brought that up a couple of times in the clubhouse once he found out he'd be facing Teheran.
So you were really busy this afternoon with the Twitter polls.
Yeah.
And one of the options on there was a hit for Cole Hamels. Well, maybe if you knew he was hitting 400 against Teheran, you might vote differently in that poll.
Yeah, is that what you were setting us up a little bit because you knew the batting average?
A roller down to first base, and Freeman will take it to the bag easily. That will end the inning. Rangers leave a man at second base. 1.5, and we're scoreless. Down here in the deep south. Dusk here in Georgia. All right, our Kubota power stats. Cole Hamels, 243 opponent's average on balls in play, or his BABIP, third best in the American League.
So that tells you a couple different things. One, I think
he's lucky, doesn't it?
Well, not complete. I mean, yeah, part of it. But I think it also speaks to, you have to take that number, I think, with a grain of salt. You got to dig in a little bit more. I think it also speaks to the defense behind him. Right? Are they taking those balls that are put in play and turning them into outs? We know what a great job the Rangers have done turning double plays this year. Cole Hamels has 13 of those so far this season in his 18 starts. He's got a 51% ground ball rate. That's going to help your BABIP. And then the other part of it is exit velocity. How hard are they hitting the ball? I think we've seen Cole Hamels do a pretty good job this year of keeping the baseball off the barrel for the most part. Mentioned just a 1 home run to lefties this year. The great batting average against. Even righties are only hitting 239 against him. And so there hasn't been, there's not been a lot of hard contact, but I think he's done a good job of keeping hitters off balance in a season in which he is striking out less batters. Right, that's the other part of it too. So kind of put that all together. And if you want the short version, he's pitching very well.
All right, Nick Markakis gets ahead here, 3-0. very well in. Well, that was helpful. Markakis, Kurt Suzuki, and Dansby Swanson.
See, I feel like, you know, you gotta I say this with affection, a little nerd food once in a while. I'm a nerd. I like things like Babbitt. Bring it out there on the broadcast once in a while and break it down, and then we bring everybody else back in.
Now base runner this inning now for Atlanta. And here comes Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki did not play in the opening game of our doubleheader. Suzuki, one of those guys in the lineup today. You see his overall numbers, but I would guess that he knew he was going to be playing in this game, regardless whether it was the first or the second game of this doubleheader. One way or the other, he was going to be in the lineup against Cole Hamels. 5 for 11 against him, and Hamels has never struck him out. So Suzuki, a guy, and these are the real oddities of the sport. You just, for whatever reason, he sees him well.
He's having a really nice year. 15 home runs. That ties the career high for Kurt Suzuki. And we've talked about this a lot on our broadcast, the number of hitters that have set career highs, mostly because there's a handful here with the Rangers. One more home run for Kurt Suzuki sometime after this game would be ideal, and he will have a new career high. So he will join that group. So many guys this year setting career highs in home runs. He's doing it at 33 years old.
Ball and 2 strikes to Suzuki, batting 6th tonight. Oh, that one way in. That one got him. So Hamels got ahead of him 0-2, but ultimately hits him with that back foot slider, or breaking ball. And so now the first 2 men are on, a walk and a hit batter.
Let's take a look at this pitch here from Cole Hamels. Good breaking ball, a good break. Just kind of took off on Cole, maybe a little bit more than he expected. You're going to see it catch him right in the front foot, barely.
Aiming at the wrong foot?
Yes, yeah, hit front foot. We don't have there's no such thing as a front foot slider. We just call it a back foot. Those don't end well.
Here's Dansby Swanson.
A really good shot, even right from the center field camera, and watching Dansby Swanson where he is with his back foot. A slightly open stance, but he is all the way on the line. So really crowding the plate. Even as he was getting set, he kind of keeps sneaking up there a little bit more. Slightly open, but back foot all the way as far as he pretty much can take it. He's not crowding the plate in the sense where he's closing himself off, but he obviously likes being very close to the plate, which makes sense as a right-handed hitter, especially when you're facing a lefty.
(2-0), and this one shot up the middle. That's a base hit. Markakis rounds third. He'll score. RBI single for Swanson, and it's Atlanta who strikes first tonight.
We just talked about how Dansby Swanson stands on top of the plate, but has that open stance and allows him to be quick on the ball in. Cole Hamels was trying to go away. This ball cut back over the plate, caught the inner third, and Dansby Swanson showing some very nice bat speed as he gets to that ball and lines it right back up the middle.
So 1-0 Atlanta, and here is Johan Camargo. He swings and misses at strike one. What's the first start he has had in this series? You see the numbers for the year: 65 games played for Camargo. He came in the opening game of this doubleheader defensively, got a couple of at bats, looked good. This will be his first start against Texas. Very talented young player, a guy they like a lot down there at third base. In a hole 1 and 2.
Good changeup from Cole Hamels. The pitch before that was a fastball that cut and it accidentally finished in, but actually what that ends up doing is setting up that really good changeup below the zone, the speed differential. Camargo way out front.
Strike 3 called, and he is the first out of the inning. Hamels' second strikeout tonight.
Well, Cole Hamels, I think, would be the first to tell you this is not exactly where he wanted this changeup. As you look at Robinson Chirinos' glove, he had it down and away, but the ball finished over the plate, and he'll take it. I think even Camargo knew it, probably surprised to see a changeup up in the zone. Cole Hamels will take it as he continues to grind here, and now he gets the pitcher in Tehran.
Tehran 7 for 45, and he's just trying to stay out of trouble here. And attempting to bunt the runners up. At least he was on that first pitch, looking like it. Infield is in. Now, one thing I'm sure that Brian Snitker, the skipper for these Atlanta Braves, does not want to see is Tehran swinging and bouncing one on the infield. It could turn into an easy double play.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Now, that conversation, I'm guessing, was about a cross-up. I mean, it seemed like, I don't know why Chirinos would go out there.
Good bunt back to the mound, and Hamels sort of second base gets away. A run will score, and nobody out on the play. Closer than I would have assumed on Suzuki at the plate, but that's twice now tonight where a Hamels throw back to second base did not work out, at least not as planned.
Yeah, and the first one, the throw looked pretty good. This one didn't look that far offline, but Cole Hamels decided to get aggressive and try to take at least one of the potential runners in scoring position out, and you could see it from there. Watch this ball sail from the lefty a little bit, almost like a two-seamer. See how the ball just kind of sailed away from Elvis Andrus, and unfortunately, you couldn't come up with it, and they did a nice job of even making that a close play. I'm with you. I thought that runner would have easily scored. It's a good job of backing up and making a good throw and making that play close.
So 2 runs in the inning. Still first and second base. And now the top of the order here, Inciarte. He takes ball 1. So it's a sacrifice for Tehran, but then an E1 that allows Suzuki to score.
Now that's interesting because usually I don't know because you have 2 runners there, but if you eliminate one of the runners that you're trying to sacrifice, then you don't get one. That throw would have beat him. It was just the errant throw, I think, that allowed that to basically turn into no outs. Right, because if he makes that throw and Elvis catches that ball.
Right, by giving him the sacrifice, the assumption, the scorekeeping assumption is that that would not have been an out at second base had it been caught, which is, of course, just patently untrue.
Yeah. I don't think Tehran cares that much about his batting average, how many sacrifices he has anyway. I don't think he's competing for the batting title this year.
Could be a team batting title for the pitcher.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Side bet.
Most important ones. Swanson at second and Tehran at first, and this one scooped out to center field. That's a base hit. Gomez up with a baseball. His sort of the plate is going to be high. Well, Swanson is in, 3rd run of the inning, and this has just been death by 1,000 paper cuts in the 2nd inning.
You're right, not very many balls hit hard. Really the only one has been the Dansby Swanson base hit, but this one, no, pitcher was down and just kind of golfed into the outfield and hit slow enough where, again, you didn't think there was going to be much of a play. Now, Carlos Gomez can afford to be aggressive here because he's got Tehran at second, who's probably not going to try to take 3rd, and so he goes for it at home, even though ultimately probably wasn't going to be a play anyway. But that's an aggressive play you can afford to make. And now here for Cole Hamels, just trying to get a reset get back on track with the Braves all of a sudden jumping out to a 3-0 lead.
Well, still in a spot where a ground ball in the infield should get him 2 outs and get him out of the inning. Not the first time I've made that observation this inning, though, and he very nearly had one on the bunted tip by Tehran moments ago. Now a strike to Albies. Albies, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, a 1-4-3 putout. And hits this ball into left field. That's a base hit. Tehran into third, and they're going to stop him there. So the bases are loaded.
Well, you can see why the Atlanta Braves are excited about Albies. He gets this pitch down. It's a nice looking swing. Changeup with some pretty good movement down. And he stayed on it, got the barrel to it. Saw Camargo way out front of the changeup, the other switch hitter in this lineup tonight for the Braves. But Albies a little bit different, a little bit more of a balanced swing. Stayed back very well.
Braves all over the place now. The pitch to Freddie Freeman is off the plate for a ball. Freeman flat out in the first inning is 0 for 1. It's 2-0. The inning began with a walk to Markakis. Suzuki in a hole 0-2 was hit on the foot by a pitch.
How about that? 387, almost in scoring position.
He has been really good this year in just about all spots. Big guy, 6'5", 220, he's 27 years old. Smashes this ball out towards center field. Long run for Carlos Gomez, and he'll have to take it on a hop off the fence. Freeman into second with a double. 2 runners score, and it's 5-0 Atlanta.
We are really seeing maybe the best version of Freddie Freeman this year. 30th double in a year where he has missed some significant time. He is so good right here when you see him swinging the bat like this. Ball down, pretty decent pitch from Cole Hamels, but he can drive it. I mentioned it earlier, as good as anybody the other way. He ends up hitting that one off the wall, left on left.
So Albies at third base. Freeman at second. Now the 9th batter of the inning, Matt Kemp at the plate. Four runs on 4 hits. 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, walk and a hit batter. First base is empty, and the pitch to Kemp. That's a strike, count 0-2. The opener of our doubleheader, Miguel Gonzalez went 3 innings for the Rangers. Bullpen took it from there, and here we are in the second, and Hamels struggling. May not be long for this one, and it's tough when you get into a doubleheader. You're always concerned that one starter might not be able to go deep, and you really tax your pen. You almost don't consider that both starters would come out early.
Especially you got 2 veterans going, Cole Hamels and Miguel Gonzalez. Earlier today got lifted for that pinch hitter. It's only through those 3 innings when it was all said and done. Now the good news is it is September, so there's a lot of pitching down there. Nick Martinez in that bullpen. An ideal guy potentially to follow Cole Hamels.
There's a strikeout for out number 2.
Take a look, and it's actually Espino right now who is warming up in the bullpen. Another option here for Jeff Bannister.
Well, Hamels 31 pitches in this inning alone. That's 17 in the first. He's not out of the woods yet. Albies at third, Freeman at second base, and here is Markakis, who walked to start this inning. Shoot it down the line, foul, and out of play. Earlier, struggles his last couple times out. Last time out at home against the Angels in 5 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Not a horrible start. Prior to that, though, at Oakland, he really struggled. And a bouncer second base. Odor has it. He'll throw to first, and that will do it in the second inning. But a 5-run outburst for Atlanta, and they break the scoring seal. When we come back, top of the order, Delano DeShields, Elvis Andrus, and Nomar Mazara will be due. But a reminder too, the tickets for groups of 20 or more start at only $12 per ticket, and they offer great savings off gate prices. Group pricing available in 9 different seating areas, plus the all-inclusive Cholula all-you-can-eat seats. Learn more about group savings offered for every Rangers game at TexasRangers.com/groups. Well, Rangers offense, which has been so potent in this series, needs to get going now against Julio Teheran. It's DeShields, Andrus, Mazara in this 3rd inning, top of the order, as they get their second look at Teheran. Chopper towards short, and a high hop for Swanson. Just does get it there in time to get DeShields one away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. Oh, yeah, thanks, John. And we already heard earlier today, the Angels did lose at Oakland. Twins beat the Tampa Bay Rays today 10-6. So, you know, some of it's helpful, some of it maybe less helpful in the wild card chase. A lot of teams to keep your eye on right now. Rangers, though, just need to take care of their own business. As a strike to Andrews, evens things up here at 1-1.
No, you're absolutely right. That is what it is about right now for these guys. Winning ball games, doing what they're doing best. They have been swinging the bats extremely well. There's certainly some reason for hope, even in a game like this. I mean, when you have the kind of high-powered offense that the Rangers have, you're capable of coming back in games like these, right? It's when you got kind of the punch and Judy, the smaller offense, playing a lot of small ball, you're discouraged in the third inning down by 5. But not when you're the Rangers, and especially, listen, it is what it is. Angels, or excuse me, the Braves have struggled. Bullpen is not that strong. There's going to be some opportunity to get back in this game, but you see those wild card standings, and yes, the Rangers are right in it.
Ball 4, so a base runner as Andrews takes the 1-out walk. And that is the second walk already allowed by Tehran. Brings up Nomar Mazara. In fact, Mazara, the other guy who walked earlier. That was back in the first. Now the Rangers, with their win earlier today, are a game and a half back of the Minnesota Twins for the second wild card spot. Only a game back of the Angels in the wild card standings. Of course, Baltimore right between them as well, a half game back of the Orioles. The Orioles have been playing well. They've won 7 of their last 10. Breaking ball to Mazara, and that one misses outside for ball 1. It's like a never-ending playoff series. It's like a 25-game series the Rangers are in right now, and every day is sort of a, I don't want to say a must-win, but darn near.
It's going to take a strong run, right? If the Rangers find themselves in the postseason at the end of the year, we're going to look back at September, we're going to see a really impressive record, right? It's going to be, I don't know, 10 games over, whatever it may be. They win 20 games in September. That's how they got there. That's what it's going to take. But you have a chance. You're right in it. We just showed it. Game and a half back. You're right there. But most likely, because there's so many teams involved, the 2 that make it, well, I played well in September. It's that simple.
Well, I've taken the first 2 in this series in Atlanta. A chance to sweep the series, but they're going to have to come back tonight if they're going to do it. Andrews drawing some attention of Julio Tehran. He stole a base on Tehran in the first inning. In fact, didn't even draw a throw to second base. This is 24th of the year. Strike to Mazara. It's 2-2. Tehran, we mentioned, just 26 years old, was the top prospect in this Braves organization. It seemed like year after year, like 3 years or so, where he was widely regarded as the #1 guy in their organization. This is outside, and it's a full count. Signed at age 16 out of Colombia. We're talking earlier that the starter in game 1, Luis Gohara from Brazil, and now Tehran from Colombia. So some South American starters in this doubleheader today for Atlanta. 3-2. Mazara swings and launches this one high in the air out to right field, and that one is gone. That hung up there forever. A towering home run for Nomar Mazara, number 18 of the year.
And Nomar hammered this ball. Elvis Andrews was on the move, full count, and 1 out. And Nomar admired this one a little bit, and he certainly deserved it, because you're right, this one was way up there. Let's take a look at the replay here. The pitcher trying to go down and in. That ball finished middle in, but still good fastball at 92 miles an hour in a pretty good location. Nomar Mazara does a great job of getting to that ball. You see Markakis just kind of watching it, but this is the guy that enjoyed it the most. And also watching, you see Nomar looking at Markakis, right? He thinks he got it. He feels pretty good about it, but it's a different ballpark. This is his first game, or today playing, right? As far as been a couple days, getting an idea of how is the ball carrying here. When he hits that ball, you see him, hey, did you see how high that went? He wasn't exactly sure. I think he thought he got it, but then he wanted to watch Nick Markakis, and the outfielders will tell you the story.
That one came in and got Gomez, and what do you know? Carlos Gomez hit by another pitch. It is just amazing how he continues to get pelted.
Seems to be laughing this one off a little bit more. I said, gosh, that looks like it hurts though. Lower part of his back catching some ribs. Now the difference between that, hitting Carlos and a guy like myself or you is you get hit in the back fat, it hurts. Carlos is a little bit better shape. It doesn't hurt as bad.
Well, that is an ongoing Rangers franchise record. Now 19 times that he has been hit. Most in the American League. And they throw over to first. He just does get back. Now, is there any chance that he was hit?
No.
Because of Mazara's long look at that home run?
I don't think so. I mean, it wasn't, to me, when you watch Nomar watch that ball, it wasn't as if I hammered this ball, I'm just going to sit here and admire it. I think he thought he got it, but we saw the replay. We watched him. I don't think that was anything that should have irritated Julio Teheran.
It's you, the mild-mannered left-hander.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can never tell anybody how to feel, right? Some guys are more sensitive than others. I know Madison Bumgarner is a guy who really doesn't stand for any of that. So he might have taken exception to that, even though I look at it and say it wasn't that bad, right? Everybody's different. Everybody has their own kind of line. But I didn't think that was bad. I didn't feel like Nomar was showing anybody up. He was hit a high fly ball, watched it, wasn't maybe quite sure, and then once he was, he took off.
Mazara's two-run homer has gotten the Rangers back in it, and Gomez now really gives them an opportunity because Gallo, with one big swing here, makes it a one-run game. Gomez off first, not going. The pitch up and away. That's ball two. See there, Gallo with the strikeout of the first inning, and he chased strike three. It was a pitch low, and afterward you could tell he was not happy. And that's the type of thing we have not seen him do a whole lot in the second half of the season. He's been so disciplined. 2-2.
He's been excellent. His control of the strike zone this year, we have seen it improve as the year has gone on. He's taken some pretty impressive walks against lefties, especially.
12 home runs in his last 26 games. And they're trying to keep Gomez close.
Now, Carlos Gomez really didn't react to the hit by pitch too badly, right? You know, sometimes he gets upset. He wasn't there. He may be getting a little irritated by these throws over to first base, as if to say, all right, man, you hit me, I didn't overreact, but now you keep making me dive back into first. I might start to get on his nerves a little bit.
Two, and that one lifted high in the air and well foul out of play. "37 home runs." Timeout. Asked for and granted. Joey Gallo hit 42 home runs in the first 162 games in his career. Count now runs 4. Just the 7th player in Major League history to get to 42 home runs in so few games.
I just keep looking at his year and thinking about what it would look like. 442 plate appearances right now. Give him 600 to 650. He'll be right there with Stanton.
There he goes, and that's ball 4. So Gallo takes the walk. Gomez to second. Gallo is on, and now that brings a potential tying run to the plate in this 3rd inning. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. All right, well, while we did that, a little visit for Julio Teheran. Chuck Hernandez, who lately had made a real big difference for Teheran, got him to refocus his efforts on the slider, which he had started to get away from after a while earlier in the year. We talked earlier about his home run issues this season. He started shying away from the slider a little bit. Lately, under the instruction of Hernandez, has leaned on it a little bit more and has had some more success. I don't know what that conversation was about. But
probably trying to get Julio Teheran in the strike zone a little bit more. A couple of walks, a hit by pitch, the home run. And team spots you a 5-0 lead, of course. You want your pitcher to come out there and fill up the strike zone. It's been the opposite for Teheran.
So if you're a guy who's given up a ton of home runs, and you've been sitting there the last 2 games watching this Rangers team mash the baseball, to me it's understandable that you might try to nibble a little.
Yeah, but you're going to get yourself in just as much trouble pitching behind in the count. And to any team, but especially for this team, as much as they slug, and then you got to come over the plate in your 2-0 and 2-1, 3-1 counts. Especially for Teheran. I mean, they look at him and, all right, maybe on a championship rotation, he is more middle of the rotation. But for this team, he's near the top of the rotation. You expect him to kind of take that attitude, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. I would expect him to be able to go right at any lineup. You know, win, lose, or draw, whatever it may be. The attitude has to be that you're good enough to beat the best.
2-0. Got a broken bat roller, third base side. They'll go to second for 1. The relay to first in time for the double play. And that was not an easy double play. Freddie Freeman had to dodge the barrel of the bat and then receive the relay.
And Jeff Bannister's asking him to kind of put this on pause for a second, as they may want to take a look at this play at first base. It looked pretty close. Nope.
Gonna let it go. So off to the bottom of the 3rd we go. The Rangers chipped away just a little bit. Nomar Mazar with a 2-run homer makes it a 5-2 game.
The Braves by a score of 5-2 as we wrap up a 3-game series and a quick 3-game road trip here in Atlanta. And I'm not sure that I want to come home because they're taking really good care of me out in the Chop House in right field. Hooked me up with a double cheeseburger with curly fries. If that's not enough for you, how about some deluxe chicken nachos? And one of the best attributes about this place is they have insulated koozies built in to the counters to keep your beverage cool. Your beverage of choice. This, of course, is not mine, and I will not be drinking it, but I will be, guys, sending the food up your way. Just because I'm a team player.
You are a team player.
I'm going to take the beer. You guys get the food.
We thought that was apple juice.
That, by the way, that whole thing looked like one of those great gags from like the 1960s and 70s where she could have pulled like an elephant out of that thing.
You have no idea what's under here.
It was like it was bottomless. Man, that does look pretty solid.
The burger's all yours.
Done. I'll take it.
My shirt wouldn't stand a chance with that thing for sure. I'm in on the nachos.
5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And a bouncer wide of the bag at 3rd, foul. Strike 1 on Suzuki.
That was a big double play to end the inning for the Atlanta Braves. We're going to go ahead in that count too. They did a nice job of turning that play in a broken bat. The Rangers at least put 2 more on the board, have climbed back into this thing, and it's the kind of game, I mean, it has that feeling if Cole Hamels and the rest of this Rangers staff can keep the Braves here, that they'd have a chance to come back in this one.
Liner out to left field, but right to Delino to Shields, 1 away. I agree with you. The way that top of the 3rd went, it changed everything for me, because now you definitely get the sense this could be another one of those seesaw high-scoring affairs to the end. You just hope that a couple of runs of support and maybe a little break there for Hamels can get him back on track. Here's Swanson. He singled in a run, scored a run as well last inning, and he takes strike 1. We only kind of hinted at it in the opening game. And one of the really bright young players in the game, Dansby Swanson, one of the top shortstops coming out of college baseball when he was drafted, traded from the Diamondbacks to Atlanta. That was a big deal. The Shelby Miller trade that sent Miller and Gabe Spire over to Arizona, and the Braves got Swanson, Aaron Blair, and Ender Inciarte in that trade coming back from Arizona. You know, it was crazy the reaction that trade got. That was in December of 2015. I don't know. I mean, what do you think of it now with 2 years to look back at it?
Well, Aaron Blair, we'll see. But obviously, Inciarte and Dansby Swanson were great pickups. Swanson didn't like that pitch right there, but great pickups for the Braves. Who went over again on that one? That was, who went to Arizona?
Shelby Miller.
Shelby Miller.
And
anybody else in there?
Yeah, Gabe, the left-hander, Gabe Spire.
Okay, yeah, I mean, right now, you know, listen, it's hard to argue when you look at where these teams are. The Arizona Diamondbacks are having a great year. But if you try to just look objectively at the trade, sure, it does look like the Braves did pretty well for themselves in this one. That was a tough one. Shelby Miller, and then he got there and she's having all those issues. I don't know if anybody really could have predicted that as far as what he went through once he got to Arizona.
Three-2 from Hamels, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So 2 away in this 3rd inning.
Well, there's the good changeup from Cole Hamels, and saw a couple that cut earlier, but look at this ball stay down and just kind of disappear from the bottom of the strike zone, perfectly located against the rookie Swanson. You know, remember the other one of those trades that the Diamondbacks made was for, and I believe it was with the Braves, for Touki Toussaint. Remember that one? Where he's a first-round pick pitcher. They went crazy because Dave Stewart gave him up. I believe it was for the Bronson Arroyo dollars, because there was a couple of trades that they had between the Diamondbacks and the Braves. So they essentially sold, the way it worked out, because they took the money for Bronson Arroyo, but gave up a first-round pick. It was the way that they, you can't trade draft picks, right? You can't sell picks, but the guy who had just gotten picked, they essentially sold him. And what the Braves did in return was take the money. A lot of the money was still owed to Bronson Arroyo. And people went nuts when that one went down. Kind of working out pretty well. He hasn't become the guy that everybody thought he was going to be.
0-2 pitch, and this one fouled by Camargo. The count stays no balls and 2 strikes.
Also involved in that trade, a current Ranger, Phil Gosselin. So it was Bronson Arroyo and Touki Toussaint went to the Arizona Diamondbacks for Phil Gosselin, but it was part of basically taking the dollars. So they were traded here. Gosselin went from Atlanta to Arizona.
One-two from Hamels. Fouled away. When was that deal?
So that was 2015 in June.
Oh, okay. Well,
so essentially what Bronson Arroyo is, it was the contract that got you the first-round pick.
Sure.
So they kind of did. You take the money for the deal on this guy. We'll give you the player, but then we also want the first-round pick. And people said it was crazy. Arizona Diamondbacks did pretty well for themselves from a financial standpoint on that one.
Good battle here by Camargo. 23-year-old shortstop battling with Hamels. A left-hander's pitch. There's a swing and a fly ball. Center field. Gomez coming on, and he'll get there. Completing a 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. Real nice bounce-back effort by the lefty. Go to work here in the 4th inning. And by the way, you can help people affected by Hurricane Harvey by going to redcross.org or simply texting the word Harvey to 90999. If you do that, you're making a $10 donation to the Red Cross. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and help people recover from this disaster. And of course, greatly appreciated. Many ways you can help out. It was fun last weekend at home at Globe Life Park to see so many people bringing items to the park to drop off and eventually make their way down to Houston as well.
Now, without a doubt, we've talked about it a lot, but the tragedy has been awful. If we could take it back, we would, but the upside has been really what we have seen from people, everybody helping out. The J.J. Watt stuff is unbelievable.
It's
talk about a celebrity using his name in the right way and getting people to rally behind a really good cause. $18 million he raised, and the original goal was what, $200,000?
$200,000. Yeah, he went on. He said, "Hey, let's see if we can raise $200,000." 18 million later.
Or saying it's over 20. I thought they put the brakes on. I guess they're still going.
Why put the brakes on it? Keep it going. It's awesome. No balls, 2 strikes to Chirinos. Bottom of the order in this 4th inning for the Rangers. They picked up a couple of runs in the 3rd. And hoping to add more here in the 4th inning. Chirinos doubled earlier. And shanks this one up into the seats. Chirinos with that double in the 3rd inning. Continues his stretch now. It's 22 consecutive games in which he has reached base. That is the longest for any Ranger this year. It's 1 and 2.
And what you don't want to see happen is, Tehran was on the ropes last inning. 2 walks, a hit, a home run, a couple of runs scored. Now we did get the big double play against Rougned Odor, but certainly don't want to see him get settled in. Rangers did a good job of disrupting that rhythm that he was in the 3rd inning.
Go. 2 and 2. Chirinos, that on-base average is edging up near 370. Cues this one toward the mound, and that's an easy play for Tehran. I don't know if you gave him 100 chances to do that again, if he could squib one quite like that. 1 away. We invite you to head on out to Globe Life Park for this upcoming weekend. It's Adrian Beltre weekend. You get one of these commemorative Beltre 3K hats using the special theme night link at texasrangers.com/Beltre3K. Get your tickets for Beltre weekend today.
You think what I'm thinking right now?
Probably not.
Those nachos are getting cold. What's taking so long here? Right? I mean,
yeah, I thought they were on the way.
Yeah, somebody said.
Listen, fellas,
hey.
patience, patience. Actually working on some fresh stuff for you guys that's going to come over hot.
All right.
Uh-huh. I don't want to hear it. Please don't complain,
That
or I'll
is
take the food
acceptable.
away.
Yes, ma'am.
You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. All right, a little pop-up, foul ground, 3rd base side. And that one handled over there by Camargo, and Robinson returns to the dugout. So 2 quick outs now for Julio Tehran. Now here comes Hamels. Hamels rolled out in the 1st inning. And he takes a strike here. He's up there to swing against Tehran, though. A guy he has handled in the past.
As much as we talk about pace of the game and hitters getting out of the box too much, taking too much time to get back in, watch how it should be done. Watch pitchers. They waste no time. I mean, I don't think Cole Hamels has stepped out of the box yet.
No, he has not. 1 and 2.
I mean, right back in there. Ready to go. Hitters take note. Not the swing part, just how quickly they get back in the box.
1, 2, 3 for Tehran sends us to the bottom of the 3rd. recognizes the player who best represents the game of baseball through sportsmanship, community involvement, and positive contributions, both on and off the field. This award is the most prestigious individual award from Major League Baseball, and Rangers nominee this year is Cole Hamels. His foundation has been so active, awarding now nearly $4 million in grants around the world for education. And Cole, it's very near and dear to his heart. He works very hard at it. And it's great to see Major League Baseball and, of course, everybody involved recognizing Hamels for that. And so he is the Rangers nominee. And the winner will be announced a little bit later in the season. But congratulations to Cole Hamels as we get going here in the bottom of the 4th inning. My scoreboard got a little jacked up after that 10-batter second inning, and I'm all over the map trying to figure out what inning we're in. What else is new? Tehran, who initially laid down a bunt in the second inning. It was scored a sacrifice and an error. That was changed. It is now just a fielder's choice and an error. After you went out in the hallway yelling and screaming about it during the inning break.
Well, I mean, here's the conclusion that you can draw from that. My influence can't be overstated here at SunTrust Park. No, I think it was the right call, though. Obviously, I do, but it was. And it takes a man to really admit when he makes a mistake. So good on the official scorer tonight.
This one lifted out toward right field. Zara over, leans, and he makes a great catch. Talk about a boarding house reach there for Nomar Mazara. Nicely done.
You think about coming to this ballpark essentially once every 6 years, the Rangers will. First time they're ever here. Nomar Mazara, not exactly sure where that's going to jet out. You see him right on the corner. You got to deal with the height of the wall as well. This is not something you practice when you come to a new ballpark. He does an excellent job of getting that timing down, reaching, and making a perfect catch. It's a nice job. This is not easy. Nomar made it look pretty easy. It is not. Great job. And good job by the fans to stay out of the way. I think it's time for you and I to shut her down.
My goodness. Well, now I feel really bad.
Why?
I didn't really expect anybody to.
We got hand-delivered burgers and curly fries.
Gentlemen, thank you. Man
Chicken
alive.
nachos.
Something you'd like to say to Emily, maybe, CJ?
I just hope this will teach you a lesson. CJ Nitkowski?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You always come through?
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Hope you guys enjoy the snacks.
How about right on the Fox Sports Southwest expense account of Emily Jones? I don't have one. I know you do. You've been here a little longer than I have. But I really want this inning to get over so I can take this off and shove all this in my face.
Well, I just hope Emily was listening, because a moment ago you said it takes a big man to admit when he was wrong.
That's right.
And I'm just waiting for that apology.
Yep. Two magic words.
I didn't say it wasn't coming. I just said, when is it coming?
2 magic words.
Thank you, Emily.
You're welcome.
Thank
I can
you.
get that taken away real quick.
Yum, yum. That smells delicious. You're going to be in my belly in about, I don't know, one more batter.
Just make sure you were talking to the nacho.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
No,
All right.
not anything else over here.
Yep.
So what happened there?
Well, that was a little roller over to the right side. Your friend Cole Hamels took to the bag himself for the putout, so they're 2 away. And a quick dispatch of Inciarte, which is always a good thing. Albies rolls one to shortstop, and CJ, you may eat.
Boom.
A 1, 2, 3, bottom of the 4th inning, and Cole Hamels will allow you to dine. To you by T-Mobile. Hanley Ramirez, a walk-off single in the 19th inning last night against the Blue Jays. It was the longest game in Major League Baseball this year, which is saying something. Manny Machado had a walk-off home run last night against the Yankees, and it was his third walk-off homer in the last 19 days. Now that is definitely saying something.
He's been swinging a really hot bat in the second half.
He's been unreal. And then Steven Strasburg, 26 consecutive scoreless innings, setting a new Nationals record as they continue to cruise toward what will be an eventual National League East championship. And that'll be their, what, fourth in the last 5 years? I think that the Nats will have had in the East. Still looking for that deep run in the postseason.
It's been the problem. They've put together some really nice rosters in Washington. Mike Rizzo has done a good job. They just can't seem to get over the hump in the postseason. That's been the issue.
On top of the order in this fifth inning for the Rangers, Delano DeShields 0 for 2. And he shoots this one out toward right field, and that one is caught. Wow. That is some kind of play by Nick Markakis. When he went into a dive, I was thinking another triple.
Looked like that was going to be the case, but Nick Markakis is a very good defender. Has been throughout the course of his career, and he makes a very nice play here. You see him go full extension in pretty much everything that he had. Get that ball cleanly, and unfortunately Delano DeShields probably thinking the same thing, right? You take that risk with certain runners, and if you miss, they're going to make you pay. And that would have been an easy triple for Delano.
One away, and here is Elvis Andrus.
Check this out. The plot thickens a little bit, so we just got the food delivered. Very cool. It was delivered by a couple of the chefs here, which they go above and beyond, I guess.
Apparently.
Emily's really got some pull around here in Atlanta, but this is even probably the most interesting part. So one of the chefs that came, he's one of the executive chefs here at SunTrust Park. His name is Daniel Canedo from Texas. Got some good news. When the new Globe Life field opens up, he will be an executive chef.
Oh, is that right?
There in 2 years. He said he's
beautiful,
very excited to be coming home in a couple of years. So we are enjoying some of this food right now, and you will have the same opportunity in a couple of years.
High pop up over by the Rangers dugout, and one handled by Camargo. Round number 2.
I mean, what are the odds?
Oh, not great.
No. It's easy when the new ballpark was opening up, and I guess he had started working in Texas first. So he will be at the new ballpark getting it done.
Fantastic. Just make sure that his station is near the press box. All right, 5-2, Atlanta leading. They got all 5 of their runs in the second. Rangers bounced right back, and they got 2 runs in the top of the third thanks to this guy, Nomar Mazara, who hit a towering home run to right field. It looked like they would have an opportunity to maybe cash in a few more in the inning after a hit batter and a walk, but big double play ended the threat. 1-0. Tehran nibbles off the corner.
We see him use that backdoor breaking ball again. That's a good pitch. He's used it well here this evening. You remember the pitch that he hit out, that Nomar Mazara hit out, was a fastball in, and so far in this at bat, Tehran thinking away.
Ground ball to right field. So Mazara with a hit. He has been on all 3 times.
Oh, mislocation got him. Just mentioned that Nomar Mazara was coming off an at bat, which he hit a home run on a fastball, and they were trying to go away. That ball finished up and over the plate, maybe even slightly in. Not where Tehran got it. And another good swing from Nomar Mazara.
All right, Carlos Gomez, he was plunked last time. It's the 12th time he has been hit in the last 26 games.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? I mean, that's quite the pace. 12 times in 26 games. What would that be over a full year? Like 1,000 times?
Sounds about right.
Jeez. Like 75 times. Seriously, whatever it is, it's a lot.
75 is the number. Is that what you said?
Is that right?
Yeah, 74.7.
Okay. This ball hit well center field. Inciarte was shallow, racing back, and it is over his head. Mazzara into third base. They're waving him frantically. The relay from Swanson is up the line, and Mazzara gets around him and in. Wow. That was like slow motion around the plate. But it's a 5-3 game, and Gomez is 90 feet away at third.
First things first, Carlos Gomez hammered this ball to center field. Does it again with some great carry on it. But you're right, maybe Nomar struggling a little bit as he's going around the bases. That is a good pitch. Julio Teheran must be wondering, what in the world? Fastball 92, just off the plate. Gomez goes down and gets it, hits it at the base of the wall. And you're watching Nomar, you see him looking out. You never really want to look over your shoulder. And Tony Beasley, you're right, really started kind of pumping the arm. He looked over his shoulder again. And I don't know if I've ever seen a guy score and end up that far up the first baseline afterwards. It was about halfway up.
Ring around the rosy around the plate there.
It's a tough habit, and I get it. We've seen guys do it, and you'll see big leaguers do it. You should see Steve Buechele talking to Nomar Mazzara right now. But once the play is no longer in front of you, so in the case of Nomar Mazzara right there, once he hits second base, you don't look back ever again. It is all you and Tony Beasley, and that's it. You see Kevin Harmon checking in just to make sure that Nomar Mazzara is okay. You're so curious. It's just a matter of kind of trusting your coaches, trusting their instincts. You always want to kind of look back and see what's going on. But those two times that he looked over his shoulder, that could slow you down a little bit. Had Nomar gotten thrown out there, I think we would have heard about it a little bit more from one of his teammates or Jeff Bannister.
Good news is he scored. The other piece of good news is that Gomez moved up on the throw, a double, an RBI. But he's at third base thanks to that throw through. And Joey Gallo at the plate representing the potential tying run. Gallo walked in the third inning. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 5-3 our score, and Teheran's pitch bounces near the plate but blocked. Suzuki keeps it close and it stays on their moves to 2-2.
That's a nice job by Suzuki. Breaking ball in the dirt. You got the runner sitting at third base. The way this ball is going to skip. Never get too comfortable back there. See that ball even bounce back as it hit a little bit? Kind of caught a little bit of a break.
Two. That's a full count.
You know, I've seen this all year, but even to hear Jeff Bannister talk about it the other day, previous seasons prior to this year, Joey Gallo at bats would go pretty fast. Right, you get down the count 0-2-1-2, and that was kind of it. How many times have we seen him now?
Oh yeah.
Usually 1-2 count, full two. 0-2 full count. 1-2 this at bat, full count. Dramatic difference for him.
And he takes ball 4, another walk. Gallo now, I believe that's his 66th walk this year. I mean, he is really taking it to a different level. You see AJ Minter throwing out of the pen for Atlanta, so Teheran might be nearing the end of his evening.
You see him 92 pitches through 4 2/3. But for Joey Gallo, he's always had the ability, right? It's the confidence. You got to show yourself that you can do it at the big league level and start believing in yourself a little bit more. There is no doubt that his confidence is flying high right now. His ability to take that pitch, a couple of others in the at bat, not to chase the slider down in the dirt. The 1-2 count is all confidence.
Well, another chance for Rougned Odor. He was up in the third inning with 2 men on and only 1 out. He bounced into a double play. Now he is up with 2 out, but Gomez at third and Gallo at first. And he could deliver a very big hit in this game right here. Takes ball 2.
And real quick, you did mention you were asking about the Nationals. They have won 3 of the last 5 divisions and most likely to go 4 out of 6. So for anybody kind of wondering, as we're throwing that out there and talking about the Nats.
Good news. Pretty sure my numbers were right.
You were right there. What did you say, 3 out of 4?
Yeah, I thought this might be 4 out of but you know, listen, I'll pick things up. Here's a 2-0. Three, so very interesting at bat here for Odor. All right, so here we go. I ask you this every now and again. What do you think?
For me, it's a take at this point, and I know it's hard to force him to take it because of the great power that he has. But I'm doing that based on what I saw in the last at bat. He was ahead in the count 2-0 when he hit into that double play and broke his bat. I want to see him take one here.
And he does. And that is ball 4, and they're loaded up. And here's the other reason why I think that's a really smart move. The guy coming up has been locked in lately. And with nowhere to put Robinson Chirinos, he's going to see a strike or two in this at bat. And lately, he's been able to cash those in. So a walk to Odor, and they are loaded. And another visit for Hernandez.
He's trying to get his right-hander back in the strike zone, at least trying to get him to be able to finish this inning. We already saw that there was action in the bullpen. The other issue, of course, is that Rangers only trailing by 2. Base hit here with a couple outs, and Joey Gallo, a good runner at second base, and this game's probably tied.
Well, Chirinos had a double earlier against Tehran and then bounced back to the mound last time up.
5 walks, by the way, a season high for Julio Tehran.
Not at his sharpest, but currently working with a 2-run lead. Rangers, though, have Gomez third, Gallo at second, Odor at first. First pitch to Chirinos, and that is in there. That's a quality first pitch strike from Tehran. Prior to tonight, these two have never faced one another. This one blooped on the infield. Playable at second base, and Albies puts it away. The Rangers leave them loaded in the 5th. A bit of a disappointment there, but they get a run back. It's a 5-3 game. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, I got a pretty good game going here. 5-3 our score, bottom of the 5th inning. Robinson Chirinos, just a moment ago, popped up with the bases loaded to end the threat, but back to work defensively here in the bottom of the 5th. Freddie Freeman, Matt Kemp, and Nick Markakis are due. How about Cole Hamels, by the way? Suddenly, he's retired 8 consecutive Braves. Last man to reach was this man Freeman with a double in the second inning.
He's done a nice job. It was that one bad inning, but he's done a very admirable job bouncing back. You expect that from the veteran. Left on left changeup. You don't see that too often from Cole Hamels. I actually like that pitch though. When you have the lefties like Freddie Freeman who are good against left-handed pitching, and he's already shown it in this game, mixing it up a little bit, going a little bit untraditional, is usually a good idea. So we got our first look at the freeze in between innings.
Loved it.
I'm watching the freeze and I'm thinking, man, I want to see Delano DeShields go head-to-head with him.
Literally go, yeah, no head start.
No head start. Yeah. No, Delano doesn't need a head start. You don't want to give the freeze a head start.
No one's giving the freeze a head start. My only concern.
Hammy.
No, it's just, you know, Delano from home to first, right? Or first, second, whatever. It's just brutally fast.
Yep.
Now, going from pole to pole, that's a longer run out there on the warning track. And I don't know what sort of sad. I don't know what that distance would be, right? What would that be equivalent to? Almost a 200, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Or about a 200.
Let
me tell you the difference.
The Pythagorean theorem should get you there.
But for a lot of, you know, for runners, that distance, that's different than the quickness of home to first. I don't know. Delano, he might be able to do it though. Tell you one thing. You give him like 2 weeks to train. I'll take Delano.
So think about this: 360 feet around the bases if you're going in a straight line.
Sure.
Probably not that much more than.
Ground ball second base. Freeman is out. Yeah, I understand.
There it is. This guy. No chance. Out of the box. I don't know why he went this early. No chance. Look at those short strides.
Chopping it up.
Close. Not even. He is going chop because he's thinking about, you know, how can I get aerodynamic? He's slowing down. He's breathing heavy. And see ya. And that wasn't even close. And just go ahead and pull up, take it to the house, be happy that your hamstrings are still intact. You live to fight another day. I'd like to see it. I'm telling you what, I bet you it's one of those things where it's the distance, the way, say, Delano would run an inside the park home run with the bigger wide turns, would be closer than you think.
Base hit into center field for Kemp. He is on. Brings up Nick Markakis. The Friezo legitimately is a world-class sprinter.
Is his identity known?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's not a secret.
No.
Oh.
No. And he is
like a Batman situation.
No. He is legitimately a competitive sprinter.
Active?
Yeah. He just happened to be working here this summer with the Braves grounds crew. And I think he's a college student. I think he might still be in college. This one fouled away by Markakis. And so he was working here with the grounds crew. Great summer job, especially if that's, you know, maybe he's pursuing something collegiately that way too. But, you know, I think the whole thing was organic, right? I mean, he just happened to be a brilliantly fast guy, and I don't know how the competition came up, but it's just because he happens to be here. Little fly ball out to right field. Mazzara coming in, makes the play. 2 out. All right, I'll tell you else. It was really quick. John Radigan, time for a Chevy game break. Thanks, John. And by saying that John's really fast, I mean, he could take his time. Don't worry. Listen. Feel free. But 2 gone here, and here is Kurt Suzuki. 5-3. Braves leading, and Cole Hamels has settled into a nice groove now. Get Suzuki to swing and miss. Yeah, so anyway, the Freeze, I don't know, he might be head back to school here soon, too.
It was a great idea, even if it was one that they just kind of accidentally stumbled upon. Anytime that you can get fans to come out and risk injury for our entertainment. You're onto something.
Big swing and a miss.
Now, he did lose at least once, right?
He did, yeah.
A couple times, handful of times with the freeze.
And we should know this, but I think there's like, is there a money prize on the line for the fans?
You get to run on the field without getting arrested. That's your prize.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that might be, maybe it's not cash money, but like
SunTrust bucks?
A gas card or something like that. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Suzuki.
Icy hot patches for your legs. At least I've seen at least one guy fall, and that always makes for good social media videos.
Oh, man.
That was the best. I think it was the one guy who looked back and thought he had him, and then bit it. That is fantastic.
1-2 to Suzuki, and he golfs this one straight up in the air, short center field. Gomez coming on, and he makes it clear he wants it, and he'll take it. And the inning is done. Braves leave another man. Cole Hamels is cruising, and we head to the 6th inning in a 2-run game. Sonic Drive-In. Our jackpot is $300 tonight, plus dinner for 2 at a Sonic Drive-In. Well, Tiffany Jones from McKinney is our contestant tonight, hoping for a home run. If a Ranger hits one out, Tiffany wins $300. If they happen to hit a grand slam, it's another 25 grand for Tiffany. So good luck. As we get ready here in the 6th inning, A.J. Minter will be the new pitcher for Atlanta.
And there's the lefty. His numbers just 6 games so far this season, but has done a nice job. Has not walked a hitter yet. Certainly some good news. And again, very limited action, so you don't want to overthink it too much with some of these numbers. But lefties hitting 308, righties. Check that. I'm sorry. That backwards for Minter. Lefties hitting 286, righties just 091. Good fastball though from this left-hander. Averages 96 miles an hour. He's got a cutter that sits right at 90. That's it. So everything hard here from the lefty Minter.
Well, Will Middlebrooks pinch hitting for Drew Robinson and hits the first one in the air out toward right field. Carrying a little bit out there. Back to the wall, and that one is high off the fence. Around second, heading to third is Middlebrooks, and he's in easily with a stand-up triple. It's that easy.
Apparently so. Well, you love the approach coming off the bench for Will Middlebrooks. That is his 2nd triple of the season. Well, that's okay. Well, he's only been here a few days. He doesn't have very many at-bats at all here with the Rangers so far. He's got 2 triples to show for it, but As a pinch hitter, you hear me say this all the time, you don't want to wait around too long. Good pinch hitters will tell you they're hunting a strike early, especially a fastball. Will Middlebrooks got one, and he almost got it out of here as you see it hit near the top of the wall. Now, that's one of the things that they have at this ballpark that I don't love necessarily, and that's where the right field wall, which is cool, it's 16 feet high, but what they do is it goes from padded wall to brick wall, and you see that brick wall there, and so you're the right fielder, Nick Markakis, you're like, do I have a shot at this? Do I not have a shot at this? Right, you start going after that ball, and when you realize it's too late, it hits that brick wall and just ricochets off that thing. And usually what I've been told here is that the second baseman has to usually get out there on those borderline fly balls. Now, it didn't happen with Albies in that spot, and so that's why there was a triple. If he's hustling out there at the time, he probably holds Will Middlebrooks to a double. I don't love that wall, though. I'm not a big fan of that part. When a ball ricochets that fast.
Just another feature, right? Another oddity that guys have to deal with. 2-0, there's a big swing and a miss. I'm not sure I'm against it yet.
Yeah, I can
so
tell.
Like, what about San Francisco, right? Where they have the archways with the screens there and then the bricks, and it's high up, and you could get any number of bizarre bounces out there. You like those?
I'm trying to think. I don't know what you're talking about. What part of
right field in San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Yeah, a bunch of archways.
I thought you said St. Louis.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, especially because they also have the chain link fence, which can get a little bit dicey for guys. It's softer to go into. Sometimes you're worried about guys getting injured. I'm okay with that. Yeah, you get some funky bounces there, but that brick wall's a lot higher. I know you got it along the sides too, but I feel like this is, I don't know, too hard of a bounce. Like what should have been.
So you should have used softer bricks.
A double or a home. Like rubber bricks, I think would work well in this spot.
Bricks, yeah.
I don't know how they hold up in the weather.
Corners are in here on Hamels. The 3-2 pitch. He'll swing and hit it hard on the ground, second base. That's good enough to get a run home. Albies throws to first. Middlebrooks scores, and Hamels has an RBI. It's a one-run game. Nicely done.
Well, this is a great job by Cole Hamels. You're just looking for contact because the defense is back, and he's looking at 96 and 97 mile-an-hour fastballs from a lefty. And not a problem for Cole Hamels. He can put that ball in play, and he does exactly what you want him to do. I'm actually very surprised that the Braves are not playing in there. You got a pitcher up, you got a guy throwing as hard as he is in Minter. They're essentially allowing the Rangers to have that run if he puts the ball in play.
So now the bases are empty. Top of the order here. Delano to Shields, 0 for 3. It's a ball and a strike. Delano's popped up, grounded out. He lined out last time on a ball hit to right field. Looked for sure it would be extra bases. A great play by Nick Markakis. Robbed him. 2-1. Well, the first game today of our doubleheader, Delano had another very productive day at the plate. The walk, the hit, extending both his hitting streak and his games reached safely streak. Hitting streak now at 7 games for Delano. And 19 consecutive games in which he has reached base. I mentioned it at the top of the show tonight. Rangers have played 12 games over 500 when Delano was in the lineup this year. But since he came to the Rangers after that Rule 5 draft, 2015 on, Rangers are 150 and 95 when Delano was in the lineup. He's just been a winning player for them.
He's done a great job. It's been another good story here with the Rangers. You know, when you talk about contending and winning, the season never goes the way that you plan it out, right? It's just not something that happens consistently. There's usually somebody that steps up, or a couple of guys maybe that surprise you. I think Joey Gallo's full year is one of those stories. Robinson Chirinos, this year with the power, is one of those stories, and Delino DeShields certainly is as well.
Strike 3 called, 2 away. I'm not happy with that.
It's pretty tough at 96 miles an hour. Jay Minter's got a very nice arm, and pretty close. A little bit of movement there from Kurt Suzuki, which tells you that ball was on the corner maybe, or just off, but tough one to take, but also a tough one to pull a trigger on at that velocity. Here's the cutter, by the way. That's 92 miles an hour. So it's a fastball 96, 97, cutter 91, 92. And the only thing I would say, it's a live arm. It's a pretty exciting arm if you're the Braves. Just wonder if there's any other secondary pitch that's got a little bit more speed differential.
Ooh, can't that one get a piece of Andrews?
Oh, foul. The way he reacted initially tells me probably not. Let's take a look here.
Oh, like that, it went by the arm and caught the barrel that was tucked underneath.
Yeah. Now, if you drop the bat there and scream, you got a chance at maybe getting a hit by pitch on that, but you got to be a pretty good actor.
Ball and 2 strikes to Andrews. Elvis singled and walked. Another busy 9 at the plate for him. Rangers got 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th, another here in the 6th inning tonight. Two and 2.
So when you see an arm like this and you see the cutter, you think initially maybe would he be at a disadvantage as a lefty, knowing he's going to see so many righties if the cutter is the only secondary offering. But you think about Mariano Rivera, a lot of hitters would tell you as a lefty it was a lot tougher. I'm not saying this guy has Mariano's cutter. That would be a little bit absurd. It's the best cutter this game has ever seen. But a lot of times managers would think, okay, well, let me pinch hit a lefty. That'd be better, maybe a better chance. Actually, righties would have a little bit of a better chance. The opposites are same side hitter, because the ball's going away. You might be able to get out there. And one guy, remember, describe it as, you know, termites on your bat. When you're a lefty, and that cutter's coming in from a guy like Mariano, I think you just eat your bat up.
Swing and a miss. That strikeout ends the Rangers half of the 6th inning, but they get another run back. It is now a 5-4 game. Look at the battery just outside the ballpark, right outside of right field. Beautiful area. And we invite you to come out to the ballpark, celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night with your Texas Rangers, presented by El Rancho Supermercado. Rangers taking on the New York Yankees Friday, 7:05.
What's so funny?
Come on out to the ballpark early. Live music out on the concourse, a lot of fun. Get your tickets now, TexasRangers.com for Hispanic Heritage Night.
It's the Dave Raymond Flair Supermercado.
Cole Hamels back to work. All right, some changes. Will Middlebrooks, after his triple, didn't have to go very far. Scored, went right back to third. Jared Hoying comes into right field, and that confirms what we thought we were maybe seeing with Mazzara. A little slow on the bases, maybe something bothering him just a touch.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We've seen him run a lot better than that. I don't think that was necessarily him being lazy or not putting his best effort in. I wonder if maybe he is not feeling great based on the way that he was running around the bases, and we'll certainly find out after the game, if not before.
Dansby Swanson leading things off here, and he takes ball 3. One thing we have seen from Hamels since that second inning, he's allowed just 1 base runner. Puts that one in there. It's 3-1.
He has really settled in here, and to be expected, I think, a little bit with Cole Hamels. Game like this, every game, of course, important the rest of the way, but really stepping up, even though he had that rough second inning. One of those guys, he is such a competitor. I'm talking about all the time with him. It's fun to watch him on a regular basis and really get a feel for how competitive he is. And these games are big down the stretch. And obviously Cole Hamels, with his career and all the accolades and everything he has done in the postseason, he knows what those moments are like. And he's a veteran. He knows how to still make this a respectable outing, even though he had that rough second inning. He's bounced back very nicely.
Just misses and loses Swanson to start this 6th inning.
Let's take a look at our AT&T high-speed replay, and we're going to go to the outfield. In right field specifically, Julio Teheran hit this ball, and we saw Nomar Mazara make a very nice play as he was reaching into the stands, calculating where that wall was and going full extension. Then on the other side, Delino DeShields thought he had himself at least a base hit. Nick Markakis thought otherwise as he went full extension to his right, made a very nice play. Julio Teheran appreciates it, so brave and Rangers showing up in our AT&T high-speed replay.
Ground ball short, quick flip to second, 1 on to first, double play. Now a little defensive help, and a 6-4-3 twin killing erases that walk.
We've seen this all year long. The Rangers so good at turning this double play, and in a nice spot right there, an easy one. Perfectly turned, great execution. Number 14 for the season for Cole Hamels.
All right, well, now Atlanta goes to the bench for a pinch hitter, Adonis Garcia. He's going to bat here for A.J. Minter. 2 outs, bases empty, and a 1-run game. And he swings and launches one out to left field. But Delino over, wow. Spider-Man couldn't quite get it. That's a long foul ball. I'll tell you what, though, off the bat, it was looking a lot worse.
Yeah, a little scary at first when you saw this swing, and we'll see the pitch here. And Garcia, much like Will Middlebrooks in his pinch hit at bat, comes out swinging right away. I mean, it was almost an automatic for me, unless I wasn't concerned about the hitter at all. And I think a lot of pitchers will tell you this. Something off speed, first pitch to a pinch hitter. Not that you're just going to flip anything in there. Just flip it over. You know, we call it get me over curveball, say, as an example, but off-speed changeup down was a 4-seam fastball from Cole Hamels, and Garcia came out hacking, and Cole Hamels comes right back with a changeup. It's not to say you can't throw a fastball. If you have a really good 2-seam fastball, you locate it down and away to a righty coming off the bench. With that kind of swing.
Yeah, swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout of Garcia, and so we go to the 7th inning in a 1-run game.
The Braves 5-4 now as we head to the top of the 7th. This is the finale of a 3-game series here in Atlanta. We've tried to give you a healthy dose of what is on display here at SunTrust Park in Atlanta, a beautifully done ballpark, the newest in Major League Baseball. Right behind home plate on the concourse level, they have what's called Monument Garden. They've got all kinds of memorabilia on display, including bats and gloves from each member of the Hall of Fame that has worn an Atlanta Braves uniform, their championship banners on display as well, and then the highlight of Monument Garden, the beautiful statue of Henry Hank Aaron. Behind it was a 755, the number of home runs he had in his career in baseball bats, all the different uniforms. It's really beautifully done, and so really they didn't want a museum here. They wanted that garden to be kind of all of their history on display. So you don't have to go anywhere special or go into a separate room. It's all on display for everyone who enters this ballpark, and it is a sight to see.
It is. And I'm really glad we were able to get some of that on, because it is one of the coolest features to me at this ballpark. Because, you know, ballparks are chaotic. You know, you come here, there's people everywhere, and there's concessions, and there's people hawking stuff, and where do you go, and what do you do? And it's like this peaceful oasis back there that's reserved just for a little appreciation of some of the history and, you know, that the Braves have had and all their greats. And there's a constant little film that runs highlighting Hank Aaron's career. It's a really, really neat place to go in this ballpark, and it's easy to get to. It's right there.
They've done an excellent job, and I think for the Rangers contingent that's been here and kind of looking around, getting some ideas for the new ballpark in Arlington, they definitely have seen some things here in Atlanta that they like.
Well, Jared Hoying, leading things off in the 7th inning, strikes out, and there is one away. Rangers down by a run. Sam Freeman is the new pitcher for Atlanta.
Veteran lefty. See what he's done here this year. 49th game, very good ERA across the board. Numbers very good for Freeman. Now, we talked about how there's been some struggles in this bullpen. Freeman not one of those guys. 185 against lefties, 269 against the righties. And after Carlos Gomez, he's got a couple more lefties to potentially deal with in Joey Gallo and Rougned Odor.
Gomez with a booming double his last time up. Hits this one on the ground toward third, and a bare hand pick and throw by Camargo. Wow, hat tip. Nicely done. 2 away.
Yeah, very strong play here. We keep talking about these infielders, the 4 of them, the young ones. Camargo, one of those. This is an excellent defensive play. This is one that you thought might have been a little bit closer. Now, Carlos Gomez slipped a little bit coming out of the box, but concentration and the throw all in one motion by Camargo. That's impressive.
Now Joey Gallo. He takes ball 1 in the dirt. Gallo, a couple of walks his last 2 times up, struck out in the 1st inning. Look at the OPS now. His on base plus slugging over 900 at 901. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, certainly a guy, maybe the guy, who could most easily tie this thing with 1 swing. Bouncer down to first base, though. Freeman will feed his pitcher, Freeman.
All the Freemans.
And it's done. Freeman to Freeman. All right. Bottom of the 7th, they stand and stretch. It's 5-4. 7th inning coming. And speaking of coming, the ball club heading home after this one today. Thursday is off, but Friday night, our AT&T matchup, Yankees-Rangers. How about those two sluggers? Aaron Judge against Joey Gallo. We'll stack up two of the largest, strongest, most impressive home run hitters in the American League. And let them go nose to nose starting Friday night, the first in a 3-game series. Going to be fun. Come on out to Globe Life Park this weekend. Huge series against the Yankees. Yankees currently holding the top wild card in the American League. And now Jake Diekman has come on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hamels done after a really good effort tonight.
Yeah, very good job by Cole Hamels. And now Jake Diekman, his 3rd game back, of course, missing the first 5 months of the season. The surgeries that he had. It's been a great story. He has thrown the ball well, and strictly from a baseball standpoint, it has been great to have Diekman back in this bullpen. Such an important part of the success here since he has put on this Ranger uniform. Big lefty with the big fastball.
Well, he has the top of the order. Cincinnati, a couple of hits earlier tonight. He is 2 for 3. And he's been a hard one to stop in this series. (5-4) Atlanta. They got all 5 runs in the 2nd inning. That's 1 and 2. Cincinnati doesn't look anywhere near as comfortable in the box against Diekman's stuff. That was not the type of swing we have seen him take very often in this series.
Jake Diekman is very uncomfortable at bat. For lefties, the way that he crossfires, throws across his body, even though he starts all the way over on the 3rd base side, your initial reaction, well, that help out lefties a little bit. Would they get a better look? You see him here. See watch when he steps on the rubber. He's all the way on that 3rd base side, but he doesn't go directly at home plate. He actually throws across his body. So by the time he's actually releasing the baseball, it is right at or even slightly behind a left-handed hitter.
Oh, it almost went through him.
The delivery from the side. You see where he is? I mean, that is the extreme 3rd base side, but then watch where the foot lands. Across his body. Very tough on lefties.
Payoff pitch, and this one fouled off. So good job by Cincinnati to stay alive. Cincinnati, a couple more hits today. Closing in on 180 hits for the season, and now he walks. Cincinnati's on pace for like 210 hits this year. He'd be the first Brave to the 200 hit plateau since Marquise Grissom did it in 1996. He's got an outside shot. If he stays hot, he's got an outside shot at the franchise record for Atlanta. Ralph Garr in 1971 set the record with 219 hits. It's been that kind of a year.
Yeah, went on to become a great scout for the Atlanta Braves. A very well-respected voice in the front office. Ralph Garr.
Another guy, by the way, who in his prime, he would have been a good matchup for the Freeze.
Yep. Former teammate of mine. The alumni softball game, of course, not real baseball.
I was going to say, you're not that old. That teaches you a lot about being old. My goodness. You didn't play with Ralph. 1-1. Albies holding that right shoulder after that swing, like a little uncomfortable. Albies with a base hit, 1 for 3. 5-4 Atlanta. Rangers have taken the first 2 in this series, trying to sweep. They're going to have to come back in the late innings.
Tough guy to double up. Not surprising with the great speed that he has shown. We've seen it already in this series, but he has hit into 2 double plays, and he hits the ball on the ground 42% of the time. League average is 44. So for Jake Diekman, a possibility, even though he's more of a strikeout type of pitcher. Hard ground ball could make it happen.
2-2. Big spot here for Diekman. Give the Rangers a shot at the 8th inning. Odor, Chirinos, and Middlebrooks will be coming up in the 8th. Ideally, it would still be a 1-run game. Strike 3 called. Albies was jackknifing out of the way, but he knew it. No argument.
It's a good pitch and such a tough one for a righty. Again, the angle in which this ball comes in for Jake Diekman is really tough for these righties to be able to read it when he locates it like this. Robinson Chirinos was set up more middle, but this ball hits the inside corner, and you see our little yellow tracer there. It kind of shows you the path of that baseball. Wasn't happy about it. Albies wasn't, but that was a strike.
So now Freeman. He of the Freddie variety, not of the Sam variety. He swings at the first pitch and hits this one out to left field, but the Shields comes on. And that is out number 2. Well, the first 15,000 fans to the game on Saturday are going to Rangers on deck circle mouse pad presented by EST Group and Dell EMC. The Rangers taking on the Yankees. It's a noon game, by the way, on Saturday. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Come on out, get one of those on deck circle mouse pads, and you too can be just like Adrian Beltre and drag it all over the place.
And you won't get kicked out of the game either.
Exactly.
Best of both worlds.
Diekman. This one right in there for a strike to Matt Kemp. Kemp today 1 for 3. To the count. This is game 2 of our doubleheader today. Rangers won the first game of the doubleheader 12-8. It didn't really seem like it was that close. This one they have trailed almost they have trailed the entire time. Atlanta jumped out to a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning, but the Rangers have scored 4 unanswered to get back in it. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there goes Kemp and the Braves. So a scoreless inning for Jake Diekman, and we go to the 8th inning. Rangers down by 1.
To low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more.
Well, in a big hurry down here in Atlanta, 5-4 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And Rougned Odor will start things off for the Rangers. Down by 1. Robinson Chirinos will be due up second. Will Middlebrooks after that.
We'll see. This may be Freeman's only hitter that he faces. He's got Chirinos sitting on deck.
Well, we got you said earlier tonight we might get an update on Nomar Mazara and why he left the game early, and would have possibly explained that route to the plate he took in the 5th inning indeed left with tightness in his left quad. Just notified moments ago as Odor takes strike 1. Rugi 0 for 2 today with a walk. So that does not sound like anything too serious, but no sense in pushing it today. Obviously the thought process, he played for several innings with it. 1-1 on Odor. Well, Rangers down by a run. One swing at any point of these next 2 innings would tie it.
Well, the Rangers will definitely want to manage that very carefully with Nomar Mazara. We'll keep talking about this finish to the season, how important the schedule is. Now, the day off tomorrow, team off day will certainly help, and hopefully Nomar will be right back at it. 10 straight games after that, starting on Friday. Yankees, Mariners, and then that big road trip out to LA, Seattle, and Oakland.
Three and 1. Odor walked earlier. That was in the 5th inning. And now one bad one away from walking again. Lane Adams, a new left fielder, so Kemp is out. We've seen Matt Adams, Matt Kemp, and now Lane Adams.
That was fun for you, wasn't it?
It's like a
Sam
like
Freeman or Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman. That one fouled back off of Suzuki's face mask.
That kid might have shook him up a little bit. Look, he might have caught the chest protector first. No, yeah, maybe the shoulder a little bit. It's interesting to see that mask from the side right there. See, I don't think I've seen that before. See those little shock absorbers in there built into the mask at the top on the sides?
Ooh, that, yeah. I don't think I've seen that either. I like that.
Makes all the sense in the world. Always looking for different ways to absorb those foul tips. As you can keep that away from your head, the better.
3-2 pitch, and that's strike 3 called. Odor down looking to start the 8th. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. And here we have a pitching change. Sam Freeman is done. Snitker going deeper into that bullpen in a 1-run game. doing whatever they can right now to preserve it. Jose Ramirez, a 27-year-old right-hander, is coming on here, and he has been their 8th inning guy this year. The guy who has done a really good job of holding leads and setting up their closer. But Chirinos hammers the first pitch he sees from him. Way out to the wall out in right center field. And Robinson goes to second base. He is in there with a stand-up double.
Robinson Chirinos comes up big once again, getting himself in scoring position, jumping all over a first pitch fastball. Ramirez has a fastball that averages 95 miles an hour. Not an issue for Robinson Chirinos. Big hit the other way. And an opportunity here for the Rangers to tie this game.
Well, that's big. Now it doesn't take that home run swing, just takes a base hit. Will Middlebrooks, who tripled in the pinch when he came in the game in the 6th inning, now takes ball 1. 5-4, but the Rangers have Chirinos out at second base. Ooh, strike, and it's 1-1. So Middlebrooks in the first game of the doubleheader came in as a pinch hitter and tripled. Today does the same thing, stays in there and getting multiple at bats in this one. 2-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a bouncer, third base, and now we may have a rundown. Chirinos heading to third, and they're going to get him. Well, in the moment there, it looked like Chirinos might just make it.
Yeah, Robinson Chirinos probably thought this ball was down the line as soon as it was hit, and he was thinking about scoring. And then what happens here, first of all, nice play by Camargo. He notices that Robinson Chirinos had come too far off the bag, and then Camargo throws the ball in the dirt, but always makes a great play. See Robinson right here. He was so thinking about scoring, and he thought he wanted to get a good jump. But how about that pick and throw as he was falling backwards? Almost turned into a really nice play for the Rangers.
Yeah, almost got a big mistake out of that. Instead of 5-4-6 put out at third, fielder's choice has Middlebrooks at first base, and Chu is going to pinch hit here. See the numbers for Chu. Tying run is at first. Chu would represent the go-ahead run. Top of the 8th inning. 5-4 Atlanta. Bouncer right side, but Albies is there. Throws out Chu, and the inning is done. So the Rangers can't do anything with that one-out double. We go to the bottom of the 8th. You take a look. It's a 5-run second inning. I mean, that was the big deal. Then Cole Hamels settled in, retired 13 of the last 15 men he faced. Great job of getting the game under control, and then the Rangers offense started charging back. Mazzara with a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, single tallies in the 5th and 6th inning. It's a 5-4 game. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Tony Barnett has come on.
Tony Barnett's been pretty busy here as of late. Here is the forward pitch arsenal for Tony. That cutter, fastball, curveball, and that occasional split finger, just 5% of the time. But it is really all about that cutter and fastball for Tony Barnett. And the fastball's looked really good here, second half of the season, going back to the beginning of July. The ball's been coming out of Tony's hand really well, and he's been throwing quite a bit. And Jeff Bannister has been using him a little bit more as well.
First pitch in there for a strike to Nick Markakis. For 2, the walk, the run scored, and let's face it, that run right now pretty big. Well, that was some wicked movement from Barnett.
It went through the umpire's legs. You see that every day. A little scary.
It almost had the action of like a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
That thing was really moving. One pitch. No, and again, that's a pretty good movement. And called a ball. It looked pretty good. 2-1.
It's that good cutter from Tony Barnett. 88 miles an hour on that one. It did look like it caught the bottom of the zone.
This ball bounced first base. Easy play for Gallo. 1 away. Hey, Adrian Beltre, as you know, just the 31st player in Major League history to reach 3,000 hits. He's going to come out. Join us Friday night. We're going to honor Beltre for this major milestone during a special pregame ceremony. After the ceremony, the Yankees in town to take on the Rangers in a 7:05 game. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. All right, 1 out. And here is Suzuki.
You're talking about that brick wall. A lot of them in this ballpark, but behind home plate. So Kurt Suzuki fouls that ball back. It's right above the wall there over Robinson Chirinos' right shoulder and bounces all the way back to Tony Barnett, who fielded it cleanly and pretended like he wanted to throw it to first.
Yeah, if you're a runner at third base, you cannot assume that ball has gotten away from a catcher and you're going to score, because it could get right back to the catcher or the pitcher. It'll be interesting to see if they make some adjustments in the offseason to the ballpark too, in that regard, because we see it all the time. New ballpark opens up, they see how it plays, and they say, "Ooh, we might need to tweak a few things here."
In the case of Citi Field, a couple of tweaks on the outfield walls.
They've done it in San Diego and in Seattle as well. And I remember when the ballpark opened, Enron Field, as it was known in Houston. I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, home run field is what Jose used to call it.
Yeah, and they finally they had to change the home run barrier, the line above which you had to hit it to get a home run, to try and mitigate some of that damage.
Get rid of that hill in center field finally this year. It's a neat little idea, but probably not really. I didn't love it in the sense of, I liked the way it looked, but as far as how it actually played, some of the circus catches that you would see there, or the attempt at some catches for guys running up that hill.
Interesting. I would think as a pitcher you'd love it, because it's pretty hard to get it out over center
that
field.
That part's great, don't get me wrong, but as a fan, as you're watching it, Lance Berkman had a pretty wild catch on that hill.
Barnett's 0-2. And that one smashed foul. Suzuki doing some good battle here. He was hit by a pitch earlier tonight. Eventually came around to score. Again, that was part of that 5-run second inning. He has since flied out to left field, flying out to center field. Well, they play Suzuki straight up on the infield. Well, that one sails away on Barnett. 1-2. Suzuki obviously not a conventional hitter. Don't see this alignment very often.
Where are those guys playing? Oh, strange. What do they call that? Straight up?
Rangers getting kind of creative here. 1-2 pitch. A little low, 2-2. Pitch of the inning for Barnett, and Suzuki hits this one well down the left field line, and it bounces up into the bullpen. That'll be an automatic double.
It's good at bat by Kurt Suzuki after getting down in the count 0-2. He fouls 3 pitches off in a row, takes a couple balls, and there's a cutter that is down but stayed over the middle of the plate from Tony Barnett, and see that bounce over the left field wall for the ground rule double.
Well, Alex Claudio came on to finish the first game this afternoon, and getting ready to go out there in that hot pink box we call the bullpen.
Well, this is an important inning. They all are for the Rangers, but they're still within 1 right now. Last chance for the Rangers coming up in the top of the 9th, so keeping it a 1-run game pretty critical.
Ooh, quick throw back to second, and that one sails into center field, but Suzuki did not know. So he stays put.
Luckily, Suzuki did not know where this ball was. It was just missed by Rugen Odor. That wasn't a bad throw right there. Just Odor was trying to go for the quick tag and ended up missing the baseball. And he had it. I was wondering a little bit as he had his back still on Kurt Suzuki. If he tried to make an attempt to run, that obstruction call really could have come into play right there. He knew he didn't have the ball.
Strike to Swanson. It was 1 for 2. One out, man at second base in the 8th inning. A bouncer up the middle. Andrews to first. And they're 2 away. Now Suzuki does go to third. All right, after this one, we travel home and taking a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. A series against the Yankees beginning Friday night. So tomorrow an off day, but Friday night, Saturday afternoon, take note of the start time. And then Sunday as well against the Yankees. That'll be a 2 o'clock first pitch. Then the Mariners come calling on Monday night for the first in a very big series in the division against another team in the wild card race. That'll be a 4-game series against the Mariners. Barnett is done. Jeff Bannister takes the baseball, signals to the bullpen, and we'll have a new pitcher coming on in just a moment. 8th inning with a big runner at third base.
And Jeff Bannister does not want to take any chances as we take a look at the forward pitch arsenal for Alex Claudio. Sinker nearly 60% of the time, the changeup 27, and the slider 14, and he'll be facing the switch hitter here. So we'll see. Whenever he faces those righties, a lot of times he's at an advantage with that really good changeup that he has. He uses it so well. As you see Camargo getting ready, the switch hitter, so well against those righties, really keeps them neutralized. So Alex has dominated lefties, 128 batting average against them. Righties hitting 290, but we've seen a lot of good right-handed hitters struggle on the changeup from Alex Claudio.
All right, Camargo is 0 for 3. And he takes one low. Bottom of the 8th inning. Claudio wants to give the Rangers a chance. Down by a run in the 9th. Top of the order will be coming. And the new closer for Atlanta, relatively new closer, Vizcaino, loosening up. Margot sends one out to center field. Back goes Gomez, and he'll make the catch. The inning is done. So a man left at third base. We go to the 9th. Last chance for the Rangers, down by a run.
Courtesy of one Will Middlebrooks, the pinch hitter today in game 1. Pinch hit triple for the new Ranger, and then if that wasn't enough, how about an encore performance in game 2? Another pinch hit triple for Will Middlebrooks, the boy who grew up a Rangers fan. According to Stats Inc., he is the first player with a pinch hit triple in each game of a doubleheader since at least 1913. That's as far as they can go back. Not a bad day for Will Middlebrooks, guys.
A great day for him. Long day for all of us, right? The doubleheader here. I thought Emily was pretty close to saying Middlebrooks there. I would have done it. It is a long day for all of us, this day-night doubleheader. But that's pretty cool. I mean, you think about coming in and trying to make a statement. Certainly, Middlebrooks is that. That's a great name.
Arodys Vizcaino is the new pitcher. About 55 appearances for him now in relief. And first pitch swinging. The Shield sends it out to center field, one away.
Vizcaino's got a pretty good arm. He's done a really nice job. The fastball sits around 96 miles an hour. The curveball 84. 90 miles an hour. Curveball is has been really good for him. That's been kind of the go-to pitch. Just a 108 batting average against on that one. The four-seam fastball hitters have gotten to this year. They've been hitting 309 against the Vizcaíno fastball, including 4 home runs.
Drops that one low to Elvis Andrus. 1 away, 9th inning. Rangers down by a run. And Elvis, with a base hit in Milwaukee, has scored a run tonight. Gets away from Vizcaíno.
He picked up on that. So that one bounced away, hit the brick wall. Suzuki caught it, and this guy looked at him and gave him the sign, say, get a new ball.
Yeah.
There's no chance he's getting the ball back. It hit a brick wall. They will never give him that baseball back. It is no longer round.
We're going to need a new one here.
It's great that he asked for a new one.
Ooh, strike call. And it was a strike.
It's a strange reaction from
Sure was.
Elvis Andrus. First of all, the pitch was 98 miles an hour, so it's high velocity. I don't know where he thought that was. I mean, that wasn't close to Elvis at all, though. Makes you a little bit nervous wondering how he's seeing that ball out of the hand of Vizcaíno. The breaking ball again in this 2-2 count.
Trying to stop himself. He did. Jerry Meals at first base. Nope. Full count.
Good job here by Elvis holding up. It is a good breaking ball. I mentioned it. 108 batting average against this year. Even better against righties. 073 on his curveball to right-handed hitters.
Ooh, this ball hit well out to left field. Back on it to the wall, and that one is caught. Adams had just enough room out there and 2 away.
He almost got it, and this is going to be what looked like another one of those breaking pitches. It was, and it just kind of hung over the middle of the plate, and Elvis Andrus just missed it. Jose Leclerc down there reacting. You see Elvis reacting. Almost. One home run hit by a righty off of the Vizcaíno breaking ball this season. Almost made it 2.
Well, Napoli pinch hitting here. It's a big swing and a miss. Hoying had come in defensively from Mazzara. Now Napoli hitting for Hoying. Last chance for the Rangers, down by 1. Called strike. Down to their final strike. Now came into this one with a chance to sweep Atlanta. Won the opener. Rained out yesterday, and then won the first game of the doubleheader today. Holds off. And it is 2-2. Today fell behind 5-0. Come back well to make this thing a game. But Rody Vizcaíno 1 strike away from wrapping this one up. Vizcaíno 9 saves and 11 opportunities. This ball hit well center field. Coming in for it, Inciarte, and that one drops in front of him. A base hit. So Napoli is on. And the inning continues.
He broke his bat in the process, but Mike Napoli is going to be okay with this as he will bring potential go-ahead run to the plate. Pitcher was down the middle. Hear this thing crack. You hear it there. Probably better off because if he squares it up, it could have been a line out. Phil Gosselin come into pinch run here for Mike Napoli, who represents the tying run. And Carlos Gomez will get a shot here at Vizcaíno. It's getting exciting here for the Rangers.
Well, we still have a heartbeat here. Vizcaino go to work against Carlos Gomez. Carlos trying to give the team the lead with that swing. Carlos had a double in the 5th inning. Swings and misses again. The count 0-2. Announced the crowd tonight a little better than 20,000. A lot of them up and applauding Vizcaino, the 0-2. That's in the dirt. Goslin, the pinch runner at first base. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Rangers. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Braves. Little tapper toward third, charging Camargo, no throw! And the inning continues as Gomez beats out an infield hit. Now the tying run is in scoring position.
It's great hustle by Carlos Gomez. The second ball that he hit like this, remember Camargo made a very nice play on Carlos Gomez back in the 7th inning. He's playing a little bit deeper, and this one hit a little bit more between short and third base. And he made the right choice too, because he tries to make a great play here and throws the ball away. It's going to give the Rangers at least second and third, if not more. So Camargo makes the wise choice to not throw that ball, and now the tying run is in scoring position.
Now a huge opportunity for Joey Gallo, who has walked twice in this one tonight. Also struck out and rolled out. You couldn't ask for a better setup, though, than to have Gallo up there with a couple of men on, down by a run in the 9th. Never faced Vizcaino. And swings and hits one a ton out towards center field, but got underneath it. Inciarte is back, and this one is over. Rangers get 2 men on in the 9th inning, but they fall short tonight. 5-4, the final score, and they fall just short of sweeping this series.
It was a good series, even though 2 out of 3, and you think maybe there was a chance for the sweep, and it was really just 1 inning that did them in. The bottom of the 2nd inning was the only inning in which the Braves scored. They put up 5 runs against Cole Hamels, an inning in which they had 4 hits, but they have a couple of strikeouts. There was a hit batter in there as well, but that was it. But overall, a pretty good series here